Hey guys, I'm John, and I have wanderlust really, really badly. So I'm going to tell you about this adventure that Pete's already given you a little bit of information about. The project's called Tailgate 32. I am indeed hopping in an RV with my brother and a crew of 3 other people who are going to help me produce a documentary series highlighting the cultures all around the NFL. So what is important, or what I think is relevant here, I told you. What I think is interesting here is that this is something I've never done whatsoever at all. I don't even own a video camera. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to create this series anyways, right? So I just want to talk about, some of the challenges that we overcame in putting this together, some of the free and cheaply available resources that we leveraged to pull something off like this and make it a reality. So again, this is sort of like the theme here. The barriers are imagined or not real or not exactly what you think they are. And you'll be surprised at how people come out of the woodwork to help you out when you're doing something cool. So to get things started, obviously something like this does cost money. It was not entirely free. But the idea to turn it into a documentary, was a way to capitalize on the project, right? There are a lot of different ways that you can exit, from selling the content directly to having somebody underwrite the whole thing for you. With that budget in mind, you'll be able to see which type of things that you're going to be able to get for free. First of all, what can you do? What can you bring to the table? In my past life, I was a technology entrepreneur. I know software. I built all the web stuff for this project. I was able to manage all the social media stuff. My brother is also an entrepreneur, so we brought a little something to the table. There were a lot of things that we did not bring to the table, and this is where you can really leverage your network. You'll be surprised at who you have, even in your direct or secondary networks, that can actually help you out. One of the great people who helped me out here is actually my friend named Inga, who's here in the crowd. She is a designer. I can't design for crap. She needed a website for her design shop, so I built her a website, and she did all of this cool design work for us. So, all the logo work, the web layout, and everything like that. So it was great to be able to have that as a resource, and all I had to do was trade somebody I already was a friend with. I want to talk a little bit about Kickstarter. We use Kickstarter in kind of an interesting way. It's a crowdsourced funding platform that's used a lot by artists and other people who are trying to develop new products. So a lot of times the way the model works is they're just basically taking pre-orders and using that money to actually do the product development. We just sold t-shirts on it. People were able to go and give us $30 and we sent them one of these cool t-shirts. What was interesting about that was that more so than the money itself, it proved the viability of the concept. And when I'm talking to potential stakeholders and potential underwriters later on down the line, I could say, hey, look, these people gave me $10,000 so I can go drive around the country in an RV, right? One of the other things that we learned is you need a guy just like this. This is Aiden, this is my videographer. Even more so, you need the camera that's in his hand. It's a DSLR, a Canon 5D Mark III. Badass. That thing makes some really, really awesome cinematic stuff. But Aiden is someone that you can find almost anywhere. He's a young kid. He went to film school at Columbia College. There are a lot of people just like him. The great part about him is that he's young, he's hungry, he wants an opportunity to do something spectacular. So in exchange for lodging on the RV and food throughout the course of the fall, I've got a videographer who I feel really comfortable with. A few of the other things that we used along the way were we use Google Docs for absolutely everything. So Google Docs is actually a pretty full-fledged product suite now. Between the spreadsheets, the documents, the forms, the mail merges, and the contact management, I basically got all this software that most people use to manage all their media relations and market outreach, all for free. I just have to spend some time learning how to use it. We used Heroku for our web hosting. Heroku, entirely free platform as long as you're not doing a whole ton of traffic. And I've just got a bunch of static content up there and a video that's pulled from YouTube. So I don't really need anything fancy. Dropbox and Google Drive, shared storage, up to 10 gigs if you use both of them. So that's great for when you're having to share documents and whatnot with the rest of your team. Business card and club flyers. One of the interesting things that we did was we purchased 10,000 club flyers that had our whole schedule on it. And we were able to get these and business cards for only like $150 or something like that. There's some really cheap options online. But that was great in terms of for a marketing tool. So we would go to like Soldier Field or Wrigley Field and whatnot and just drop them all in the cars, right? Really cheap. One other awesome thing was we found filmcontracts.net. Again, I've never made a film before. I don't know anything about it, but we needed releases from anybody who was going to show up in our documentary and also for any of the locations where we were going to shoot. So in the end, it's just all a business. I mean, I wish I had more than 5 minutes to tell you more about the kind of things that we were able to do. In the end, we were able to do a lot of this for almost no money at all, and mostly just leaning on our network. And when somebody buys in your network, they buy into the project too, which is great because then they want to talk about it to everybody that they know as well. So that's about it. I'd love to talk to you guys some more about this. Like I said, there's a handful of things that I couldn't talk about in this talk. Come up to me. I'll spend 20 or 30 minutes here afterwards. And then I'm going to go to Gilt and get a beer because I could use one. So, thanks, guys.